So today, I wanted to take time to talk about some ideas. Because we've been talking about forever, how do you take your power back and reclaim your life? How do you create your life experience? And what it really boils down to, and that's why I titled this talk, How to Make the Right Decision for You. Do you notice how I didn't say how to make the right decision? But I said how to make the right decision for you. Because there is no right decision. There's only the right decision for you. And you get to choose what that is. You see, you have to create the image of your life. You have to create the idea of how you want to express your unique gifts in the world. And then when you've got that image, the right decision supports that image. It's not what your parents want. It's not what your spouse wants. It's not what your children wants. It's not what politics wants or the school wants. It's what's within you that is desiring to be experienced. And when you make a decision, you're reclaiming your power. You see, our life experience reflects back to us our decisions. So when you go back and you look at the memories of your life, realize that those memories are the product of decisions you made back at the time when you had the memories. And the experiences you have today, they will be the product of the decisions you made yesterday that you're holding on to today and you're continuing to make today. So decisions are really powerful. And here's the thing, when you make a decision, there's no turning back unless you consciously choose to. So when you make a decision, when you are committed to something, you're putting a power into the creative process that says yes, because you're not going to deviate. It's not going to be one of those wishy-washy things, well, I wish this, I wish that. No, if you've made a decision, you have decided. You've left yourself no plan B. You've left yourself no other option. You see, as long as you've got plan B, C, D, as long as you've got options on your mind, you've not made a decision. You're toying with the idea of making a decision. And a lot of people do that. And one of the key ways people do that is in relationships. Because when you make a decision to be in a relationship, you make a decision to be 100% committed. There is no plan B. It took me a while to get that. It took me a real long while to get that. Because I was taught to always have a plan B. In my corporate world, my job was plan B, C, D. I was in charge of planning analysis. We always had other plans. We never did make our plan though. And then the other plans all fell apart. You see, we didn't commit completely. And when you don't commit completely, the results aren't there. You see, our decisions show us how we're directing the creative process. It's real simple. Our decisions create the result. We look at the result and we ask the question, is the result what we want? If it's not what we want, then we're not using the creative process to the degree, to the clarity, to the power that it has to create exactly the experience that we want. And it's really fascinating. So if you have a relationship and it's only partially where you want it, then you've only given the law, the creative intelligence working within you, a partial picture. And a partial picture is a picture where you believe in what you see, what is happening, but you yet don't believe on the aspect that you're not receiving. You see, you cannot receive anything that you do not believe. That's real important. And to believe something would mean you'd have to decide on it. We decide on our beliefs, at least when we're conscious. Most of our lives, we unconsciously chose these beliefs. But now, as conscious beings, our role is to decide. We can no longer blame our parents, our childhood, our boss on that. No. Whatever happened to us, happened to us. But how we respond to it, that's the process of our own thinking. And only we can control that. And how we think about something, we direct the creative process to give us that experience. To be a conscious creator, we must make conscious decisions. So the question I ask you today, when you're there and you're sitting there saying, I want to be a little bit more healthy, and you're reaching for that 9th, 10th, 12th handful of potato chips, is it a conscious decision? or is it an unconscious habit? If you're desiring to have a more meaningful relationship with your life partner, but you're reacting to everything they do instead of consciously asking questions, who's in control? What decision have you made? I've made a decision in my relationship that I never know what my partner is thinking. So if I need to know anything, I made a conscious decision that I will ask. And I've asked my partner to make a conscious decision to ask back to me. And in that way, we hold each other accountable. And we don't hold each other accountable for things that we cannot even begin to understand. I cannot read anyone's mind, and neither can you. So we need to give that up. We need to be conscious creators, which means conscious asking, conscious declaration, conscious thinking, conscious moving in a direction. Remember this, no choice is eternal. The moment we make a new choice, we can change the direction of our life. So if you're in a situation you don't know what to do, don't be paralyzed. Make a choice. Make a choice and move forward. And as you move forward, you'll see whether or not it's taking you in the direction of what you want. If it's not taking you in the direction of what you want, you'll know. Guess what? You can now make a new choice. It's okay to make new choices. We have been given infinite do-overs in making our choices. So I ask, the question is, whenever I'm making a choice, is this serving the highest interest of me? And for me, it goes back to, is it serving my hierarchy of values? The things that I deem most important, that I most want to experience. So I'm always asking that, is this choice for that? And it's real interesting is I'm making some new choices in my routine. I just created a yoga pose that I've added to my daily practice. And you're going to say, Reverend Lee, what's that yoga pose? Well, it's this. It's that I put myself up against the wall with my butt right up against the wall and my feet going right up the wall. And I sit there for 20 minutes. And I allow my feet to have the blood moving in the other direction. And I found that the medical benefits to doing this are immense. And so not only doing that, but what I'm doing while I'm doing the reversed seated position there with my legs up high, I'm actually doing deep breathing. So I'm actually building two things into that same process. I'm connecting to the breath and I'm allowing my blood to circulate in a different way. And I'm finding it's having a big impact on my own clarity and the way I'm starting to feel. I read about this the other day, and so I decided to put these two modalities together and see what happened. See, I'm testing it for myself. Am I ready to recommend it? No, I'm not. I've only got 2 days experience, but I'm going to have a lot more because I've committed to it. I've made a decision that this is now a part of my daily life. And then I will analyze what that decision produces, and then I'll make a decision to continue, to stop, or to alter. You see, that's the ability. I'm a conscious being, just like you are. You see, before we can make meaningful choices, conscious choices, we must first understand who we are and where we want to go. And a lot of times we don't know who we are. We don't know what is our mission, our purpose, and what we value. Most of the time when people ask me who I am, I tell them the simple answer, I don't know. It's a continual unfoldment. But I do know what's important to me. I do know for me the hierarchy of my values are spiritual self-actualization, teaching and speaking how to better self-love through conscious living, building intimate relationships and community, learning about human behavior, personal health and well-being, being financially free to do what I want, when I want, how I want, and to travel and experience other cultures. That's what I value most. And so when I'm making my choices, I align them because those choices align with that hierarchy of values will take me where I want to go. To have a deeper connection and oneness. To teach and talk to more people to help awaken the planet. To connect at a deeper level and experience oneness with one-on-one relationships and with community relationships. To watch myself and others and see why do we behave the way we do and how can we become empowered to change that. To improve my health. To live an abundant life. To experience cultures I've not even yet known about. That's what juices me. So when I'm making my decisions, all of my decisions are for that. And they interact, they're linked together and they support each other. And that's what makes a life of meaning, when your decisions support each other and you can't wait to get up to do them. You see, our choice will always be for love or fear. Here's what I know is love expands while fear contracts. So when you're thinking about the choice that you're making right now, if it's about an expanded you, that's love. If it's about you constricting, that's fear. Love knows no fear. Love knows no judgment. The key thing is, when you're expanding and you're making a choice out of love, and it's in alignment with your hierarchy of values, there is no doubt in your mind that you're doing the right thing. If there's questioning, then you've got to ask the question, is the decision in alignment? Or maybe, is this really a value of mine? I don't know. You have to discern that because it goes back and forth. My values change. My values get clearer. And the clearer they get, the easier it is to live in alignment with them. So clarifying your values is a lifelong process. It's not something you just do once or twice. You know, love always sees balance while fear only sees a one-sided situation. This is real important to understand. When you're coming from love, you're the observer. When you're the observer, you see the full picture. You see the yin and the yang. When you're coming from ego, you see the good or the bad. You don't see the good and the bad. You don't see the balance. So that's how you know when you're in ego, is if you're only seeing one side. But when you're coming from love, you can look at someone and you can see the totality of who they are. You can see the balance and you accept them just like they are. That's the beauty of it. I've made a conscious decision to do my best to become an observer of my life, so that I try not to get hooked into a one-sided view, that I'm able to see both sides of the situation. And you know when you can see both sides of the situation, that's very freeing. It's very freeing because there's no emotional charge then, because you see both sides. You've neutralized the emotional impact. It doesn't get any better than that. So guess what, gang? You have the power to change your life with every decision you make. The key thing is, do you know who you are? Do you know where you want to go? And then and only then, align all your decisions up with it. And I promise you, you will create your most magnificent life. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wallach. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.